Man, hip-hop just doesn't slow down, does it? Every week it feels like the tension between rappers and media personalities keeps boiling hotter. But this one right here, it's wild. Jim Jones and DJ Akademiks ran into each other at an NBA YoungBoy show in Newark. And let's just say, the energy was far from friendly. What makes this even crazier is the history between them. This wasn't some random awkward run-in. This was years of shots, criticism, and posts finally boiling over in person. Let me walk you through why Jim Jones wasn't exactly in the mood to shake hands that night. Now, before you leave any comments, please make sure you watch the entire video. Akademiks pulls up to the YoungBoy concert, just enjoying the vibe, probably thinking it's business as usual. Cameras out, fans hyped, everything cool. But who else happens to be there? Jim Jones. Now, if you've been following hip-hop long enough, you know Jim isn't the type of guy you want to casually approach, especially if you've been running your mouth about him online. Akademiks, though, he decides to step up and talk to him. Bold move. But here's the thing. Not every rapper is smiling when the cameras are off, and Jim's body language said it all. This wasn't going to be a friendly chat.
I was walking quickly to get to Birdman, but right behind Birdman was Jim Jones. Jim Jones had brought his mom. I didn't even realize he brought his mom. Like Mama Jones, he brought his mom. So I'm walking mad quickly. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I think the way Jim seen it was like I'm walking up on him. I swear. Like, cause I'm walking mad quick. And so, and then I see Birdman and I see Jim Jones. And I'm like, oh shit, Jim, what up? Now let me tell you the history with me and Jim. I don't know if in history. I did an interview with Kanye West. Kanye West said he gave Jim Jones $2 million and he was mad that Jim Jones couldn't make him a PDF. Okay, that went viral. Jim was trying to get some buzz at the time. Jim, I don't know how, through an intermediary, hits me to say, yo, I want to do an interview responding to Ye. It never happened, but while I set it up, Jim says to me, we should probably get on the phone because, I just want to make sure we good, right? That happens with mad artists, chat. Like, sometimes the artists want to talk to you before getting on set with you because they don't know if you about to just ask them some federal shit or whatever. So that's valid with me. So that's the last thing I know about anything with me and Jim Jones, right? Cool. So now, so when I see Jim Jones, I'm like, oh, Jim, what up? And Jim, what up back at me is a different type of what up. He's like, nigga, what up? And I'm like, whoa. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if it's how I walked up. Anyway, that happened. I'm like, damn. I'm like, first of all, I'm going to give Jim his credit. Jim was the oldest YN in the building, but he was on YN timing. I'm going to keep it a beat. I ain't no liar. Jim, I just Google his age, Jim 49. Jim was the oldest YN up in the building there, but he was on YN timing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you could tell. Jim, and I said to myself, I said, maybe it's because of YoungBoy concert. Everybody a little bit aggressive here. Cool. So anyway, all right. So that happened. So I'm like, again, I'm thinking he's cool. Even though the walk-up was a little crazy, right? But I was starting to think like, oh shit, he probably thought I was like walking up on him. So let me just have a regular conversation with him. So I go over to say, yo, Jim, we gotta get up and we gotta go do the interview. That's what I'm like, we gotta go do the interview. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't know if it's because YoungBoy was on stage. Jim Jones turned to a YN on me. I swear. Jim Jones was like, yo, hold on, let me holler at you, man. Let me holler at you. And you know when the nigga just start to be a little bit more vigilant, I'm like, is he okay now? Jim is like, yo, listen, man, I gotta talk to you. I'm like, all right, what up, what's good? He's like, yo. Now, he was taking a second to kind of get out his point, but this was his point. And I was trying to he was like, he kept asking questions like, yo, do y'all think the shit y'all do online is cool? So I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm kind of confused, honestly. I'm legit confused. And I know some people are going to be like, no, accurate, playing dumb. But I'm kind of confused because I'm also trying to figure out what it could be, right? And I didn't get too much info out of him. But he mentioned 6'9". He said, whatever 6'9". Then he's like, yo, y'all got to know, it ain't safe when niggas is playing with me like that. And I'm thinking about, I'm like, what the fuck do I? So I kept trying to ask him, I said, what me and 6ix9ine got to do with you? Or what I got to do with if you and 6ix9ine got something? I got to think it's this video, right? Because I don't think he's been talking about it recently. Or it might just be overall that 6ix9ine told. Now, again, and I know I'm trying to battle the people who are going to be in the comments like, accurate, playing dumb. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's not what I've done. It's like, nigga, that's your man, 6ix9ine. And you post this shit, and nigga, we don't fuck with that nigga. Now, the only thing, and I guess my response to Jim is, listen, there's a couple things. In that moment, I could see why Jim's career is where it is. If that's the approach you take with niggas, like that super tough, like that felt like some 90s shit, right? Like some, I'm like super gangster, right? I could see why in moments like that, people have those interactions with you and they're like, I'm good off you. Because in reality, if you're not a hot musician, niggas don't got to deal with you. After that handshake and even like that energy, I could have just said, I'm going to just leave him over there, nigga. I walked up, I thought we could have a conversation. He just wasn't trying to have a conversation. So he was just like, yo, man, I ain't trying to have no conversation. I ain't trying to have no conversation. He's like, listen, man, just enjoy the show. Just enjoy the show. Just enjoy the show. And I'm like, okay. Then he's like, yo, he said something like, yo, and if anybody got a problem with me, they can let me know. I'm like, all right.
Here's the backstory people forget. Akademiks hasn't exactly been keeping it neutral when it comes to Jim. First, he gave 6ix9ine a platform to talk reckless about Jim. That's a line that already rubbed Jones the wrong way, but it didn't stop there. When Jim compared himself to Nas, Akademiks laughed it off and told his audience Jim must have lost his mind. That kind of public disrespect doesn't just fade away.
I don't know how this Jim Jones Nas thing even really kicked up, but Jim Jones has been comparing himself to Nas. He claimed he had more Billboard entries than Nas, a flat out lie, right? He was almost claiming like his catalog is better than Nas, a flat out lie. And now he's claiming that because he mentioned Nas, he got Nas the most viral publicity Nas has ever received. Another flat out lie. Like, I like Jim Jones. Like, you always gotta love a passionate liar, right? Like, this guy's he's just lying left and right, but he's passionate about these lies.
Then fast forward to recently, Jim announces a new podcast with Fab, Mayo, and Dave East, a solid move that could have been celebrated for pushing culture forward. Instead, Akademiks uses it as an opportunity to clown him again. He basically suggested Jim was broke for even starting a podcast. At this point, you can see how the frustration just kept building.
If you told me that Fabolous, Jim Jones, Maino, and Dave East, if you told me that they were together, I'd be like, oh my God, they're making like some type of 4-way greatest New York rapper things. Shit, they're going to sell some shit, go on tour. Bruv, there's no more money in music. Unless like you're YB, unless you're like the Drakes. There's no money for the middle order guys.
So now we land at the YoungBoy concert. Jim sees Akademiks in person. And all those clips, all those posts, all those comments, they come crashing down in real life. It's not about social media anymore. It's about respect. You can criticize music, you can debate industry moves, but when you mix in constant disrespect and even give platforms to people dissing him, that's when it gets personal. And Jim Jones, he's not one to let things slide. But here's the real takeaway. This is a reminder of how dangerous the line between media and artist has become. Online, it's easy to type something, upload a clip, or make a joke. But in real life, words echo differently. They carry weight. Some rappers treat the internet like a stage. Others treat it like court documents. So when media personalities think they're just covering hip-hop, the people they're talking about might see it as constant disrespect that demands a response. And sometimes that response isn't verbal. This wasn't just about Akademiks and Jim Jones. This is about where hip-hop is at right now. The culture is built on storytelling, competition, and speaking your truth. But when that truth feels like an attack, those lines between commentary and conflict get blurry fast. At the end of the day, both sides are influential. Jim Jones is a legend in his own right, and Akademiks is one of the most powerful media figures in hip-hop. But influence comes with responsibility. If neither side adjusts, run-ins like this won't just be awkward moments at concerts. They could turn into something much bigger and much uglier. So here's what I want to know from you. Was Jim Jones right to press Akademiks in person? Or do you think Akademiks has the freedom to say whatever he wants since he's just covering hip-hop? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And as always, hit that like button, subscribe if you rock with the content, and turn the bell on so you don't miss the next breakdown. I'll catch you in the next one.